Hi, my name is Madison Stewart, and I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you. Um, I graduated from Burlington High School, and then I went on to Ottawa University, where I played basketball and got a degree in physical education. And I'm also endorsed in health. I now teach at Emporia High School. This is my third year of teaching. I am a PE teacher, but my specialty at our school is aquatics. So I teach kids how to swim. Every freshman has to come to me for 30 days. The first 15 days is in the swimming pool where I teach them lessons and we play games and we learn how to be safe in and around the water. And then that next 15 days is me teaching them some basics of first aid and CPR. Along with my freshman classes, I teach first aid and CPR, where I certify kids, and also lifeguarding, which is where they can become lifeguards. And this is a couple of pictures of me and my nephew. I just had to put him on here because he's so dang cute. My hobbies. I really enjoy watching The Bachelor and reality TV in general. I like any kind of activity. There's a picture of me and from a 5K and a triathlon. I love biking, running, working out. That's my favorite thing to do. I like to coach. I coach in the summer for Wheat State Elite basketball program. And then I coach during the school year here at Emporia High. I coach the freshmen. And then I'm also, this year will be my first year coaching javelin for track and field. I enjoy reading. I really like romance novels. So if you have any good suggestions, I'd love to hear them. And then I like to travel. So there's a picture of my boyfriend and I where we hiked to a place in Colorado and then also in Jamaica. So there are three main mindsets. The first one is all students can learn and grow. And we know that growth mindsets will push you and make you the best you can be. And when you have a fixed mindset, you tend to not grow at all. You stay in the same place. So it's really important that we have those growth mindsets. The second one is teamwork and collaboration. You will always do better when you work as a team rather than just your individual talent. I mean, that's in all aspects of life and sports. If you got one person on the court that thinks they're all that, their team is not going to be very good. They have to work together and focus on one another and to achieve their goal. Um, Especially in PE and any subject for that matter. But why not share your ideas? It's important to learn from others and be the best that you can be by using other people's practices or sharing your own if you think it's a good one. But continually growing and trying to learn new ways to be a better person in general. And then number three is happiness is a choice. You need to be optimistic. If you are down in the dumps all the time, if you're unhappy, it's probably because you're making yourself that way. So you need to really think about all the good things you have in life and really look at those happy times. The dispositions, this dispositions. Um, I put this meme on there. I think it's kind of funny. Uh, could be true for some of you, could be true for none of you, but thought it was hilarious. So the first one's confidence. In the reading, it talked about level five leaders. They are doing what's best for student learning and they're confident in their choice. If you're confident, it shows, and that's a really good trait to have. But you don't want to, you want to be, there's a fine line between being confident and looking like you're overconfident. So you got to know where that line is. Number two is risk taker, and decisive. They're not afraid of failure, and they learn by doing. They are ready to make that decision, and they're not afraid if it doesn't go as they planned. They're going to learn from it either way, whether it's successful or not successful. Number three is a sense of humor. I think this is a really good trait. It's really important to have a sense of humor because if you don't, it's going to be a long road, especially in education. These kids are interesting people and they teach you something new every day. And you just got to laugh sometimes at what they say. Or if you're in a situation that's not ideal, you just got to make the best of it and um, move on. Okay. Number four is they're empathetically assertive. So they move forward and they help others. This is really important for leaders. Um, and the last one is a learner. They keep current by going to conferences, reading different types of text, and collecting data to make sure that they're giving their students the best possible education. Um, and they share and practice what they've learned. And they, like I said, and number two, they learn by doing. So if something doesn't work, they find a new way. And I think this is all really important. Um, and I agree with all this because these things can make or break a leader in any position. You really have to have all these qualities and dispositions. Practices. Focus and prioritization. So they make to-do lists and they prioritize what they need to do by what goal they're trying to achieve. They also keep it simple. They're not trying to have it complex. They're going to do it the best way that they can while also trying to do it the most simple way they can. They're not trying to add a bunch of stuff for themselves or other people. Number two is examining feedback and data. So they use this data to obtain the goal that they have in the school. So there's not a lack of data. You can find data on almost anything, but trying to use that data to better education is really important for a principal or any leader. And then number three is emotional intelligence. So it's the golden rule. You want to treat others like you want to be treated with respect and dignity. And in any situation, you have to keep your composure. You have to be ready for whatever people throw at you. The 8 principles of ethical leadership. So, number one is personal courage, and then public interest ahead of self control, self discipline, and integrity, task and employee centeredness, recognizing talent, requiring high ethics from everyone, sensitivity and understanding, and inclusiveness. So, overall, I thought this picture depicted it best. My video is kind of covering it up, but are you a leader or a boss? So the first picture is of a leader that's helping with the work and they share that success with the people around them. And then a boss is kind of just watching them work and then taking all the credit. So it's really important to be a role model. If you put in the hard work, your teachers and your staff are going to want to put in the hard work. If you sit there on the sidelines and tell people what to do all the time without um, kind of guiding them or showing some interest, then you're not going to have many people that want to work hard in their situation. So the standards, I thought this was really interesting from the text that you need to have standards for not only your staff, but your parents and your students. I think a lot of times, if you don't have an idea of how you're going to handle parents, it could turn out really ugly. So it's good to have a game plan and a standard of how you want to speak to those people. And then overall, you just really need to gain their trust. You need to bring people into decision making and you really need to find a way to gain that trust in your employees. The decision making process. So, how does all of this affect my decision making? Well, my current positives, I would say, from all the text that I've read, is I have some humor. I'm really good at prioritizing my goals and what I need to accomplish. And I like to keep things simple. So when I'm making a decision, I don't want a bunch of other things around. I want to make those decisions based on the simpleness and on others' opinions. I love working with others and asking people for what they think. But in the improvements, making decisions is one of those things that I struggle with. I want to know um, how it's going to work out in the end. I'm a planner. I love to plan. So making a decision and not knowing the outcome can be difficult for me at times. I, being a basketball coach, can sometimes be negative. Um, and I don't know, that's probably just from when I was growing up. I had positive people in my life, but being kind of a negative person kind of got me where I needed to be on the basketball court. So that kind of pushed me like I wasn't good enough. I need to get better. But that's something that's slowly changing. I'm obviously a more positive person now, but something that still needs work. Data collection and use. We talk about data in our school, but I wouldn't say that I'm the best at using that general data that they give us. And I need to get better at that. And then learn by doing. Like I said, I like to know the outcome of things before I make a decision. And if I don't, then it takes me a little bit longer to know what I want to do. And then, how does all this support the success and well being of students and adults? So, these are great practices and mindsets to live by, not only in our profession, but in our personal life as well. It's important that we try to live by these characteristics or ways of life because they're just general good things to be. Um, and then if you want to be a good leader, you have to have or work on all the topics that I previously touched on. It's really important. And then overall, I think if you have the student's best interest in mind, then you're on the right track. And that's something stakeholders can get behind, like your staff or community. So overall, um, all these things come into play and are really useful if you can find a way to incorporate